In this video, we'll be discussing creating cutting ticket for production purposes. Cutting tickets are usually used for domestic production, and they don't have to be used only for domestic production. We usually mainly use them for any type of production that requires usually maintaining the manufacturing operations or keeping track of labor costs, following up with contractors, following up with the progress of actually the production process, versus importing, which you're not responsible. You might be responsible for buying and supplying the fabrics, but you're not responsible for maintaining and making sure that when is cutting done, when is sewing done, when is finishing done. Your contractor will probably give you a due date, or you would request a due date for the import production order, or as we call it, the style purchase order, and that's it. So for cutting ticket, in order to create a cutting ticket for domestic production, we will need to go to transactions, then manufacturing system, then cutting tickets. We have three ways to create cutting tickets in Aria: either generate cutting tickets based on sales orders, which is a way for you, and it works usually for people that do special production. So what's happened, or based on customer request kind of production. So what happens is, once your customer service staff enters the sales order, Aria turns that sales order into a production order, while also linking the sales order to the cutting ticket number, so we would know this sales order is covered by this cutting ticket, or this cutting ticket is covered by this, is done for this sales order. This is one of the advanced options that we will discuss in future videos. Second one is creating cutting tickets based on plans, which will allow you to create cutting tickets based on the production plan that you put in your production department. So if you're projecting to sell during this season, for example, this much number of pieces, that's your sales plan, and that should be converted into a production plan that might either be higher or lower than the projected sales number based on your business policies. What we are going to be discussing in this video is the regular and the manual cutting tickets as a start. So I'm double clicking on manual cutting ticket. Like all other transactions in Aria, in order to create a new one, you will click on add new record. First question system asks you, what's the style number you want to produce? So M08 SP135. System automatically pulls, of course, the description and displays for you over here the default cost sheet for that style number. As we discussed in the manufacturing cost sheet video, we discussed that the system allows you to create multiple cost sheets for the same style number in order to cover multiple production scenarios. So here the system displays for you the default cost sheet, the default production scenario, and you will be able to either change it, click on that list to select another one, like we usually produce in-house, but this cutting ticket is going to be produced in China, so I would change that to the cost sheet that applies to China. Cutting ticket status is on hold as a start, means that it's not costed yet, or bid, meaning that it's just simply in negotiation phase, and I don't want to even include it in my open to sell, for example, or in my work in process calculations. So once you create the costing information for each cutting ticket, the cutting ticket status will turn into open, and we will discuss this later in the video related to cutting ticket cost sheets. On the header tab, this is the general information, so it's entered on this date, expected to be completed on this date, and of course you can change all of those dates. Production will start on this date. We're using this pattern number, this pattern type, for example, if there is any classification in your business like that, and this is the division that's responsible for this production, and this is the season related to this. Later on, once you create the cutting ticket cost sheet, you will be able to see over here a list of all labor steps, and who's the contractor, and so on, what's the status, what's the open, when was received from that contractor, and so on. And this is also something that we're going to discuss in the cutting ticket cost sheet section. Now I'm going to move into the details. I forgot to enter a location, which is actually good that this happened. We need to also tell the system that we're planning to receive the finished goods in Brooklyn warehouse. And if we are going to receive at more than one warehouse, we will need to check this part to tell the system that, you know, we're producing like 1,000 pieces, 500 going to Brooklyn, another 500 going to Ohio. And multi-lot, meaning that we're going to produce this in more than one lot, which this is a little bit of an advanced option that we will discuss in future videos. Now I'm going to jump to the detail section. System automatically puts for you all colors available for that style. And what you have to do, just very simple, you highlight the color that you want to produce, set its completion date if it has a different completion date than what you projected in the header. Then I'm going to jump to small size 10, for example, 10, and I'm going to highlight the second color and jump to the small size, or better, I'm just going to say that this is by pack. I'm going to just produce 10 packs, and this one, that's loose numbers, so I'm going to just do like that, and so on. So as you can see, and of course you can always click on new to enter another color if you're missing anything or something like that. Know that you cannot include more than one style number on each cutting ticket versus what we discussed earlier in purchase orders. So each cutting ticket will be responsible for producing a single style number with as many colors and sizes as you want. So once we set this detailed section and we're telling the system this is what we want to produce, a quick look on the summary tab. So I'm going to click on summary. Now this will tell me that we're planning to produce 260 pieces. Of course, nothing is received, nothing is damaged or seconds so far, nothing is cancelled, nothing is actualized so far, which we will discuss also on the cutting ticket cost sheet. And we still have the 260 pieces open. And the estimated cost for this is the following. Fabrics, we're going to be using fabrics worth of 12,840.1. We're going to be using trims worth this much. We're going to be paying this much for manufacturing operations. We're going to be using components worth of this much. Miscellaneous cost, freight, overhead, total of 39,681.2. There is nothing received, so there is no landed cost yet, and there is nothing billed to that cutting ticket, meaning that we did not receive any bill or any invoice from our suppliers for any of those cost items related to this cutting ticket yet. And we will discuss this part later in advanced options when we start talking about accounts payable and fabric consumptions and things of that sort. I can click on that cost by unit to give me an average cost for each piece or by piece, or simply switch back again to the cost by cutting ticket to get the total cost. Once I'm done, I'm just going to simply click on my save button. System is going to give me the cutting ticket number. If I click OK, it's going to give me the ability here, or ask me if you would like to add any kind of notes. In case if you want to put any kind of notes related to production instructions, packing instructions, handling, shipping instructions, anything of that sort, you would be able to click on yes, and you type any kind of notes that you would like, then save. Of course, system will print these notes once you print the cutting ticket form, or if you print the contractor management related forms and reports. If it happened that you would like to modify or cancel a cutting ticket, like other transactions in Aria, we would go back again to the same screen, and I would choose my cutting ticket number. Then I would use my mouse to click on the edit button, then do any kind of changes I would like to do here, including changing quantities or changing anything on the header, and it will automatically update the summary tab and give you the end cost result. If it happened that you would like to cancel the cutting ticket, this is the button for doing that, similar to what we did on the sales orders or the purchase orders or all other transactions. So I'm going to click on this. It will tell me, are you sure you want to cancel lines for this cutting ticket? I'm going to say yes, and now as you can see the status is cancelled. If the cutting ticket has never been received before, no other damages or cancellations entered on it, right? It will take the status cancel once you hit this button, the cancellation button. But if there's partial receivings or partial damages and so on, once you hit this button, it's going to turn the cutting ticket as complete, close the cutting ticket. And if the cutting ticket is cancelled with this situation, this is the only type of cutting ticket that you can actually recall back or uncancel by clicking on this button. Are you sure you want to uncancel the line? It restores it back again